one of the most famous lines in anime, and I've actually talked about it on this channel before. It was in one of my earlier descriptions at the bottom, is the law of equivalent exchange. What is equivalent exchange? And I think that it gets lost in translation a lot of times. And I think there's a couple different ways you can look at it that can kind of go with your day-to-day life, not just anime, right? That's what the whole point of these videos are for. And I think that the law of equivalent exchange in a whole is you give something in order to get something in return. But I think there's more to it than that. Because the way that people think that it works is that you're always guaranteed to get something in return. So let's put it this way. You go to the gym, you're guaranteed to look better. You put in work, extra work at work, you're guaranteed to get promoted. You make YouTube videos, you're guaranteed to get views. All these things are not 100% equivalent. You study for school, you make good grades. That's not always the case. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you put in. You're not always going to get something in return as far as equal value. But what I think there is something that people don't really think about is, there is something to be gained from that. Maybe you did work extra, but you didn't get that promotion, right? Maybe you did go to the gym. It's the character that is being built from doing those things. Years and years and years of going to the gym, right? Yeah, maybe you don't look exactly how you want to look and you put in all this time, but you're building character. Now you're more determined. Now you're more consistent. Now you're just a stronger person in general. You have this willpower to be able to force yourself to do something over and over and over again to make a change. And I think that a lot of people look past that. They want that monetary, I went to the gym I see it all the time at work. I went to the gym for a month. Where's my abs? I got on a diet. Where's my loss of 10 pounds? I went to school. Where's my degree? I worked my 40-hour work week. Where's my promotion? Everybody just thinks you just put in a little bit and you're just guaranteed to get that return. I also feel like that, honestly, it's not all about being successful, right? What happens in life when it doesn't hold up that end? You just quit? Oh, well, I went to the gym for a month, didn't make the progress I wanted, so I quit. No. Oh, I worked my job, didn't get promoted, so I quit. It doesn't work that way, right? There is always an exchange for something, but it's not always the reward that you think that you're getting. And sometimes things don't get exchanged back, right? Sometimes you take losses, you take sacrifices, you lose. You don't get it back, right? But I think that there is something to be thought about when it comes to the indomitable human spirit, right? Because here's the thing. No matter what, whether you are putting in time and time and time and time, and you're not getting what you think you deserve to get back, it might not be exactly what your mind thinks of, but you will get back something of equal value. That is a fact. You go to the gym, you're building yourself a stronger mind, a stronger body, a healthier lifestyle. You go on a diet, you focus on your nutrition. Your gut health is going to be better. You're going to sleep better. You're going to be healthier. You're going to be able to lose the weight you want. It might not be immediate, right? You go to work, you bust your ass, you work hard, right? Not only are you proving to yourself that you can go and do something, but other people will eventually see it. It might not be a promotion, right? But maybe you go to your job and you work this time, you get this experience, and then you can promote yourself by going to a different company. Maybe you like to make music, right? You make music, maybe it's not the greatest at first. Maybe you've got to outsource it to other people, but eventually you do it enough, and you do it enough, and you do it enough, and you get to a point where now you've gained the skill set and knowledge to be able to do it yourself. Same thing with video games. Maybe you're not the best, but you play it enough, you put in the reps, and you get better. There's all these things that people, I don't think, they just think it's a basic transaction. I put the card in, boom, success comes afterwards. And that's just not the case at all, right? The best way I can describe it is it costs to become something or someone new. Whether it be, the gym, you used to be fat, you used to be out of shape, or maybe you used to be skinny, you had no muscle, right? People picked on you, whatever. There is a cost to leaving behind your old self to create a new one. Putting in that work, eating more food, being consistent, having drive, being competitive. As an athlete, there is a cost to getting to that point you want to be at. Your friends are going out and partying, guess what? You don't get to do that if you want to succeed. Hours and hours and hours and hours in the gym. And for some people, it doesn't matter how much work they put in as an athlete. It stops in high school. Some people, like myself, it stopped in college. Some people, they go to the next level, right? So it still doesn't matter. You can put in all the work in the world, but you might not get to that end goal. But again, for myself, I did all that. I went to college, right? Didn't make it to the NFL. To be honest, I didn't really want to, but not that I could have if I wanted to. I don't know about all that, but I gained a lot of things from it. I gained a good work ethic, right? I gained a level of self-confidence in myself. Obviously, I was pretty big, pretty strong, pretty athletic, and I gained a competitive mindset, which I feel like has gotten me to where I am right now. There have been times where I haven't been quite as competitive, but that made me into a competitive person. Even the healthy type of competitiveness. So there is always something that you will gain, even if you can't think of it in that moment. If you're like, man, didn't make it to the NFL, I didn't gain anything. 10 years later, I can sit here and look back on my life and say, damn, I gained these things from doing that. Even if at that exact moment it did not have the monetary value that I wanted, I did gain something. Now, is the law of equivalent exchange wrong? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think that a lot of people just think, like I said, it's the monetary. You put the card in, you get the money out. And it's not always the case. So when you're sitting at home and you're cooking your food every day and you're sitting there thinking, damn, is this worth it? Yes. In some way, shape, or form, it will be worth it. Even if it's not the thing that you want right this second, you will gain something of value. If you're going to the gym every day, you're waking up at 6 a.m., going to the gym before work, you think, is it worth it? Yes, it is. If you're a parent and you're waking up early to go to the gym, yeah, it's going to suck, but to be able to come home and spend time with your kids is worth it. If you work at a job that you fucking hate, you're making money, you're gaining skills, you're gaining experience, to then be able to go work somewhere that you don't hate it, yes, it's worth it. If you're making music and it ain't sounding as good as you want right now, you're building the skills, you're building the knowledge, right? You're figuring out what style of music you want to make. It's worth it eventually. Everything you put in may not be exactly what you want in that moment, but later in life, it could be a year, it could be 10. It will end up being worth it, I promise. Now, to end this video, I got a little edit that I want you guys to watch. If you made it to the end, let me know what you guys think about the edit. It's not mine. I'm going to post the guy's stuff in the description. So, that way I don't get copyrighted. But also, I think it's a dope edit. And I think it's going to tie the video together perfectly. So, other than that, guys, just remember, sometimes you got to get rid of the old to bring in the new. Until next time, peace.
There's no such thing as a painless lesson. They just don't exist. Sacrifices are necessary. You can't gain anything without losing something first. Although, if you can endure that pain and walk away from it, you'll find that you now have a heart strong enough to overcome any obstacle. Yeah, a heart made full metal.